How many of you saw that story of that Abuja gospel artist that did that bad thing to his girlfriend?
What in the What is her name? Adaju. Which tribe is she? Adaju. Well, for how long have you been together? Like a year.
These guys were actually squatting with friends. They were squatting with somebody. And at some point, their girlfriends got missing. They called the boys. One of them ran mad. The second one, after a period of time, we heard that guy died. I know how it is that when they've looked down on you so much that when they are going out, they don't want to invite you because they feel you are a burden. Start teaching your children early enough survival method. Always live a life of gratitude.
Mr. J, what do you think will make someone do something like that?
Well, it's very obvious, just lack of contentment. And I'm just going to share similar stories, that happened way back when I was in school. Something similar to what just the story of that young man that did that thing to his girlfriend. Now, way back when we were in school, I think 2010, 2011, there are two young men. They were in 100 level. I think then I was in like 300 levels. They had big dreams. Each time they had conversations, they were always talking about how their future will look like, how they want to drive the best of cars, have the best of life, and I'm very sure that basically it was just they were looking up to people who were already there. Now, little did we know that they wanted to attain those heights through cutting corners, Now, these guys were actually squatting with friends. They were squatting with somebody, and at some point, their girlfriends got missing.
Wow.
Yeah, their girlfriends got missing. Two of them, their girlfriends got missing. And they kept on searching for them. Questions they were asking questions and here and there, but to no avail. Now, something happened. There was a day that a lady was cleaning the house where they stay. They stay in like the hostel settings in school. Was cleaning the house where they stay. They saw a very big box that was outside for a very long time. The box looks abandoned, and she perceived some weird stench from that box. And when she opened the box, she saw two big pythons.
Wow.
Lying. They were alive, but they were like lifeless. They were powerless, and some blood and fetishes around it with the pictures of those girls in the box. Now, when they asked questions, they called the boys. One of them ran mad immediately at that spot.
Are you serious?
Ran mad immediately at that spot.
Jesus.
The second one, after a period of time, we heard that guy died. Now, most times people just, want to make it big, forgetting that for every height for you to attain in life, there are processes. Every great man you see today has a story to tell. Every great man you see today,
a story of resilience.
Exactly, has a story to tell. Society is never going to make it easy for you. Society is never going to. And there are a few reasons why people lack contentment, but I'm just going to highlight few of them. You see, laziness is one. People just want to. I'm a graduate, so I should not look for jobs.
Jobs should look
for me. Then you don't want to put your skill to work. There's nobody that is born empty. Scriptures even say that before I was born, I knew you. There's no boy that is born empty. There are certain skills. Lucky you have a lot of skills. I was going through your videos one time, and I saw how your life transcended into what you are right now. Nobody that does not have a story. The second one, peer pressure. A lot of people use social media to measure their lifestyle, to measure their growth. Forgetting that a lot of people live fake lives on social media. Fake lives on social media. People borrow things that they post just for the gram, just to get views. And you innocently, that God has given you a lot for you to just put to work and become great. You go to social media and you feel you're not doing enough. Even your friends also, friends around you that you keep. I was once like that, in my life, where I had a lot of bad friends around me, and I almost soiled my hands, because You might be contented, but the next person close to you who is your friend will always push you to do stuff. Like
Make you feel like
yes, you're not
you're
doing
settling
enough.
for
Yeah,
less.
you're not doing enough. Bro, your mates are this, your mates are forgetting that
Yeah.
even your mates are, some of them are in the mortuary. You know, yes, some of your mates are even in prison. You know, but your mates are this, your mates are that. You are talking about what some of your mates have achieved, forgetting that life is processes. There's a particular analysis I want to paint for people that are struggling right now, yeah? Now, for you to climb a one-story building, let's just say for you to climb a one-story building, the steps you are going to take is going to be different for the steps you are going to take to climb a 10-story building. That is how life is. You know, now wherever the height you are going to attain, the steps are going to be different. It takes a lot of patience to attain those steps. It takes a lot of patience. Another one is fear of the future. You know, fear of the future. A lot of people are so scared. You know, what does my future hold for me? What does my future hold for me? There's a particular song I like to sing, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because he lives, I
Sing
know.
it now.
Oh, okay, let me just sing it. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know he owns my future. My life is what I live in just because he lives. You know, the fear of the future, I strongly recommend God to everybody. You know, once you have God, your future is secure. But God did not even promise you that hard times will not come. He says hard times will come, but just put your skill to work. Put your skill to work. Another one is setting unrealistic, conditions for yourself. You know, everybody, then when we are growing up, we just thought that life is roller coaster. You go to primary school. From primary school, you go to secondary school. From secondary school, you go to university. From university, you serve. No, you serve. After service, you start working in one oil company.
How do you know that was what I was going to say? I just did not want to interrupt you. After school, you just get a job
yeah.
in NNPC.
You start working in
Shell.
Yeah, in Shell, and you get married, you have beautiful kids, you go
have
on
like
vacation.
4 cars.
Yeah, 4 cars. You go on vacation. You know, when we are growing up, our minds were conditioned that way. You see, and most times also, I also blame parents. Start teaching your children early enough survival methods.
Exactly.
Don't make them look at life like life is all rosy. No, you will meet issues. Set realistic expectations for yourself. That after school, some of us even have uncles that once have promised us jobs. I have an uncle like that. You know, what you ask you, what level are you now? You tell you are 300 level. Okay, in the next 2-3 years you should be graduating. Okay, just finish and call me. You know, when you graduate, start calling the uncle. He will stop picking your call.
What if he's going through some challenges?
He's a man. It's only God's
God
help that is
yeah.
It's only God's help that is unlimited. Man's help is limited. Set realistic expectations for yourself.
Realistic
and
goals.
Last one, that is the last one. Always live a life of gratitude. Always be thankful for every position of your life. Little progress is also progress. Any step you take ahead is always a step ahead. One thing that has always guided me throughout my life is that the house where I live, once I enter the house, I look at the house and I'm grateful to God. Lord, I'm thankful for this house. I enter my small kukere car. God, I'm thankful for this small car. Any position I find myself, I get any little contract or job that brings food to my table, I am thankful for it.
You're just describing my life right now.
You understand?
Honestly.
In everything that you do,
just give
thanks to God.
Be grateful.
Be grateful at all times. Be grateful. It is when you are now even grateful that there will not be space for the devil to come and tell you that
like
yes, you are lacking,
something.
you are not doing well enough.
You're not doing well.
Yes, because most times you see people that do all of these rituals are people that are not grateful. They always feel that there should be more.
They feel like the universe owes them something.
There should be more. There should be more. There should be more. And not even just these rituals. You see, there's the one that always pains me. Most times whenever I go around, you see Hussein and all of that, I see young ladies on the street. Lucky, let me just share a very, very shocking story that just came to my mind. I went to my brother's office somewhere in Hussein then, years ago. And through his office upstairs, you could see the police station downstairs, and people gathered in that police station that morning. I've had to find out what happened. Now, guess what happened? A particular guy drove an Acura. This latest Acura at the front, I can't remember. Is it MDX? That the front has a V shape. Two of them drove in one car, came to pick up a prostitute that night. Now, when they picked up that prostitute, they went home. After like 20, 30 minutes, they came back again to that same spot to pick up another prostitute. They were staying around that Hussein. Do you understand? Now, when they picked up that second one, she was thirsty because they were upstairs. She doesn't know what they were doing. She was asking, she won't drink water, where on her day. Lo and behold, she could not wait again. There was a fridge she was seeing in the kitchen, a very big fridge. As soon as she opened that fridge, she saw a human head inside the fridge with body parts inside that fridge. The human head she saw was the human head of the person they picked recently.
In Abuja?
In Abuja here. The story went viral.
Which year was that?
I think around 2017, 2015.
Jesus Christ.
2015, 2016, thereabout.
Wow.
In Abuja, the head was inside that fridge. Now, what saved her was that she did not say a single word. She went outside the gate. The gateman was asking her what happened. She said she was coming, and that was how she started running. When those guys came downstairs, they started chasing the girl. When they chased the girl ran to the police station. Those guys followed her inside the police station. And when the police people now asked those guys, what's going on? As soon as she got to the police station, she collapsed there. They asked them what's going on. They said it's her sister. The girl is their sister, that they want to take her home. The police people, in their smartness and in their wisdom, held those guys and said until when she wakes up, and when she woke up, she had to tell what happened. And that was how those guys got apprehended. They got arrested. Actually, it was actually their time, because I don't know what mentality they had. Do you understand? So most of these things is not just about guys anymore. Even the ladies these days even do rituals.
Are you serious?
Come on, Lucky. There are certain things that I've worked in a platform, or I don't want to call the name of the church, where we hear a lot of things, a whole lot of things, even some beads that these ladies wear on their waists. There's a man that gave his testimony how the day he was having intimacy with his side chick, mistakenly that bead caught. That was how this man realized that he has left home for more than 6 years.
Wow.
He has left home for more. He has forgotten about his family. He started asking himself, where am I? It was at that point the lady knew that the man's eyes has cleared. Some of these stories that you hear are very shocking story because of lack of contentment. What will people say about me? I'm not doing well enough. What the society, how the society view me? My mates that came out from school are doing this and doing that. There was a time in my life that when I came out from school, I was almost the least amongst my clique. That when they are going, I know how it is that when they've looked down on you so much that when they are going out, they don't want to invite you because they feel you are a burden. They might be listening to me and be seeing this video right now, but they will know I'm telling the truth. But not to belittle any of them. Some of them are doing well. But some of them, even that look down on me then, are even still the ones that beg me for money now. Life, it's process. Life has processes. It is not something that when you just come out, it's all going to be rosy. So I just want to beg of everyone that contentment, that's what the Bible says, that contentment with godliness is great gain.
So you made mention of laziness. I did not want to interrupt you anyways. And I can tell you that truthfully, a lot of people who do ritual, majority of them are lazy. If you go to, let me not even just talk about ritual. A lot of people who do ritual and fraud, majority of them are lazy people. If you go to Delta State, you go to Edo State, you look at the lives of majority of the youth there. Some of them feel that the universe owes them something. They are things they are supposed to do with their life, they won't do it. They'll blame everything on the government, even what the government does not owe them. If you feel pity for them now, you ask them questions like, you say life has been difficult for you, you've been putting in work, nothing has been happening. What is something you can do? They'll say nothing. What's your educational qualification? They stop in WAEC.
Yeah, and they don't want to improve.
What skill do you have? They've not learned any skill. What about work experience? Nothing. How old are you? 29. What have you been doing with your life all these years?
With your life.
They say they've been waiting that the government is supposed to give them jobs, give them opportunity.
Or one uncle has promised them. They are just waiting on the uncle.
That is a very myopic mindset. Nobody attains greatness with that kind of a mindset. Nobody.
You know what scriptures even says? It says, I will bless the works of your hand. That means your hands should be doing something before blessings come and meet their hand. Your hands should be found doing something.
You can't just sit back and just expect life to happen. What even annoys me the most is if you look at some of the girls in Delta State, you see a girl of 21 years old putting on a wig of 200 and something thousand.
In an empty skull.
You see her with a phone of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you go to their house and see where they live, you'll be ashamed. You can't even enter inside with your ordinary leg.
Yeah.
The mother is on the streets. She doesn't even have a shop. Or she have to lay wrapper on the floor and shade vegetables.
Pathetic.
But you see the girl carrying wig of 200,000 because she's dating a guy who is doing fraud to provide something like that for her. And she goes through life thinking that is how that's how life is. This girl will refuse, even if she tries to learn a skill. Sometimes she will not come around for work. Sometimes if her madam raises her voice on her, she feels like, they're shouting on me, I can't take
do it again.
They quit. If they try to apply for a job, they say, how much is the salary? They look down on it.
Yes, because they have one Yahoo boy somewhere.
Yes, and they think that is how life is.
Should be.
And when they get to rock bottom, maybe a point in their life where the Yahoo is no longer working, or maybe their boyfriend has dumped them, the kind of life that they've started living, how do they sustain it?
My brother.
That is how people begin to think about ritual.
Rituals, yeah.
At that point, they realize that they don't have skill, no work experience. They'll say they have sent their CVs. Who wants to employ you? To be honest, why would anybody even employ somebody that does not have experience and yet you are hoping for a very huge salary? Look at the lives of some of our parents. Some of them had to go from one stage to another before they enjoyed the promotions that they got from their job.
That is growth. Yeah.
But most of us, we just expect life to happen. We just expect life to just happen. Your first experience, you just want your job to be maybe a salary of 600,000. You are forgetting that you need some experience. Some of the people you see working at radio stations, some of the TV presenters, ask them how much was their first salary.
True. My first salary was 28,000 naira.
My first salary was 8,000 naira. That was 2013.
When I started doing white collar job, 28. When I was working in a poultry farm, 3,000.
3,000.
Yes. When I started doing white collar job, my boss, I worked with FCMB, First City Monument Bank, the branch in Asokoro. They can testify to this. 28,000 naira.
But life today, are you still earning 20-something thousand?
Come on. This is something that we spend even on fuel alone.
Right now.
Do you understand?
With the way you are, there are problems you know how to provide solutions for.
Yeah.
Someone who is just starting out life cannot do the same thing.
That's because you went through the process. I went through the process. Yeah. There was something you said that just flashed my mind back. You say you spoke about ladies always, wanting to, the ones dating the so-called Yahoo boys because they provide for them. Now, meanwhile, their parents are suffering in the house.
Suffering seriously
in the house. You'll see a lady that is with a phone of 1.8 million naira, wearing a wig of 200k service too small. Wearing a wig of 1.5 million.
That's crazy.
800,000 naira.
No work experience.
Now,
no skill.
The thing is that as much as they tend to forget these things, as much as that boy is providing those things for you because he has the means to defraud people. When those things stop coming from his side, he tends to use those girls for rituals. It happens most times.
What are those girls thinking? A guy that have the mind to take what does not belong to him. You think that guy, if the money finishes,
then
he won't see you as a potential.
See, I was discussing this with someone recently. And the truth is that these days, there is no Yahoo anymore with clear eyes. Do you understand? There's no G anymore with clear eyes. Most of these things that they do, most times, most of them are doing rituals these days. You know, most of them are doing rituals. And it baffles me how a lady will take someone that defrauds people, you know, so seriously, and you call him your serious boyfriend, someone that lies for a living.
You have to be ready. You just have to be ready for anything.
Anytime.
The moment you close your eyes to sleep, just pray that while you are sleeping, God should take control.
Yes.
Because you can't tell what that person has been conceiving in his mind towards you.
Yeah.
Things are no longer working for him. And all his guys that are still balling are telling him that, see, the only way forward for you right now is to do ritual.
Of course.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And you are the closest, most vulnerable person around him. Do you understand? So at that point, he's most likely to consider doing that thing. So a lot of girls are walking praise. And this is not the way God has designed life for you.
God has not designed life for anyone.
Do you understand? Some people at the young age, they have this mentality that they are supposed to be balling. And that is not how life is.
At all.
You see, that I recently invited my childhood friend to my house recently. I don't want to go into details to talk about something that happened. But then she saw one other girl. I was asking that other girl. This is a girl that just finished school. The girl has not even gotten her first official job. She just finished school last month. And then she's asking the girl, why don't you have wigs? You don't look like a girl. You are not behaving like a girl. You are dulling. And this girl that was saying this other girl does not have wig is somebody that have attempted to go to school 4 times. This is my childhood friend. 4 times. And for each of these schools, she never graduated. Why? Misplaced priority. This is a girl that had good support from her family and good support from people. I remember she was dating a boyfriend that was into Yahoo. And when this guy would give her money, she would go and buy Jenny's Glow's cream, 80,000 naira. But when it was time to pay her school fees was 50,000, there was no money. And that was how this girl then dropped out from school. But a girl that worked her way, worked hard, her family supported her with everything that they could, has been able to go through school and just graduated. You are telling the girl that she doesn't have wigs. That is a very myopic mindset. So right now, she thinks that, she has some sort of, that she has arrived and that, like, you don't even know what 5 years of your future looks like.
See, they say, there's a particular saying, say, now who buy latest now, buy old school. I'll be outdated. Someone that buys a 2024 Prado Jeep has bought the outdated version.
Exactly.
Because 2025 will still come. 2026 will still come.
That is it. Exactly.
So, misplaced priority, like you clearly stated. And thank God if that girl, the person that her friend was talking to about not having wigs, misses it. You know, that's why
she was about to miss it though. I had to even tell her, I said, come on. Like, look at you. Why are you even feeling bad? This other girl telling you that you don't have wigs feels like she has some sort of advantage over you. But clearly, if the both of you go anywhere, they'll choose you because you are a graduate. You have experience that this girl does not have. You have you have skills too that this other girl does not have. So do you understand what I mean?
Of course.
For someone like this, she will have to rely on guys that are also into Yahoo to maintain those things, because obviously your family cannot even provide something like that for you. You yourself cannot provide something like that for yourself. Why do you have to make other people feel bad?
It's quite annoying. You know, we live in that kind of society right now that people just care about their physical appearance, and
that is really not just good.
That's why the girl was just particular about why don't you have wigs. Then if you set 2 of them now, the person that is carrying wig of 1.5 and the person that is carrying all back, if you set 2 of them and ask them question, you will see that the one that's carrying 1.5 million naira wig have nothing upstairs. You cannot put certain connect sentences together to make meaning.
The reason why I said this is because it is people like that girl that puts pressure on innocent people. Yeah. Why this is happening in the girls' world, it is also happening in the male world too.
Of course.
Some guys also make other guys feel bad. with the way their life is. They feel like if you are not balling, if you don't have a Mercedes Benz, if you don't have this, if you are not doing this, you are gone. And that is not making sense. You see, this Yahoo of 18 has affected a lot of things. You know that it is very difficult to go to a boutique right now and see a shirt like this. I'm telling you, you can't even see a normal cloth anymore, and all the clothes you see, they are overpriced because they feel like their target market is those Yahoo guys.
Exactly.
So if you come into price clothes, the normal price you expect this clothes to be, they'll look down on you.
I had this conversation with a guy that I buy that brings my stuff in, and he keeps on telling me that, oh God, why it be that I say it's the price? I say, my brother, I'm not the regular Yahoo boy you are saying, because those ones, they don't struggle for the money.
They don't struggle, so they spend
anyhow. You go, most times, even club owners, they are praying for those kind of customers.
Yes, exactly.
Hotel owners, they are praying
for those kinds of people. When a story burst out on Insta blog that a guy just used his girlfriend for, everybody be saying, hey. But all those guys that come to your club to ball, all those guys that come to your boutique to spend millions of naira, how do you think they make those money?
I was
Any
in a
small thing that says crypto and forex.
I was in a hotel recently in Festac. I was bringing in a vehicle for a customer, and that hotel had a lot of Yahoo boys in it, a whole lot of Yahoo boys, and I became so uncomfortable. But that was the only hotel close to that axis where I was going through, and I called the manager. I said, why do you have allowed these guys, smoke weed,
dominate the environment?
He said those are their major customers. So that some of them have been in that hotel for 1 year. 2 years, and guess the amount that the list of the room there is 50,000 naira. Some of them have even turned hotel room to they'll buy TV, change the TV, buy sound system, hotel accommodation. In fact, we can't exhaust this topic.
Do you know that right now, as we are talking now, people are going to be calling us two broke guys?
Exactly.
Especially
the ladies.
Both the ladies and both the
guys. Yeah.
That is what they'll say.
Yeah.
You see, and to be honest, society has decayed. If you even look at our school back then, university, most of the teachers that we did not like were teachers who were actually following the rules.
Of course.
Teachers that were doing the right thing, but they were the ones that we did not like. But the ones that give us little time to do expo, they are the ones that we love so much.
Yeah.
To be honest, you see, our misplaced priority and our selfishness as humans, it started a long time ago.
Very true.
We are not so surprised to see stories like this. The guy who did that bad thing to his girlfriend. We are saying it this way because we don't want to go explicit so that social media doesn't censor this video, right? Why are we even surprised to see things like that? Most of us are facilitators of those things like this.
True.
The way we speak to people, the way we make them feel about their life, their existence, through comment sections, through the things we post, to the things we share continuously. We share these things because we want it to dominate social media. And tomorrow we cry and say, God, why is life like this? Why won't life be this way? Now I have to go back to talking about laziness. I've spoken to a lot of people because a lot of people come to me, Lucky, I need your advice. Right now, I don't know what is going on with my life. And sometimes I try to listen to people and give them advice. But you know what I've discovered? A lot of people expect so much from life, but they are adding no value to anybody's life.
That's true.
See, life is all about value. Life is a marketplace. If you don't trade, you will never earn.
That's true.
So how do you, as a 25-year-old man that you are, you have no skill, you have no job experience, you are too proud to accept a certain amount of money as a salary. Some people that are working right now are not working for salary. Some of them are working for experience, for exposure, to build capacity and competence in their life. Some of you ladies, when you're at home, your mother looks at you and tells you are a very dirty girl. You are very nonchalant. The truth is, that may be the reality of your life. But do you know that you can really change things for yourself? You need to go out there. Volunteer. You see a friend of yours that has a dream too big for only him to handle or for only him to be the one. Sometimes volunteer and assist them.
Person. Very true. Very,
Do you understand me?
Very true.
Sometimes go apply for, even if there's no job opening available, tell them you don't mind working as an intern or as a volunteer. Gain some experience. When you begin to socialize and meet people, there are certain things that you do. Some of you girls, you eat your nails in public anyhow. Some of you don't know how to sit very well in public. Some of you don't know how to use deodorant. You just live your life anyhow. The moment you begin to socialize, you begin to learn a lot of things that you'd have not really learned at home. So if you're not doing it for the money, do it for self-development.
Self-development.
Some
Very
of you
important.
are meant to, some of you, your futures are bright, you are superstars, but you don't just know because you don't just see it from where you stand at the moment. And the only way to come into the reality of that dream is if you begin to work on yourself. Some of you, God has destined you to hold the idea for the cure of cancer and HIV. You might not be a medical student. You could be into art, but your curiosity could lead you to discover it.
Just one
but
idea.
where you are right now, the environment you are, the midst of people you belong in, you will never be able to see the light of the day for that future that awaits you. Young people, I'm going to use this opportunity to encourage you. Do not be ashamed to take the bold step you need that will bring you into a good future.
Very true.
Some of us, we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and that is bad. We blame God for everything. Why is my life like this? At 19 years old, you're already asking God why. Sometimes I scroll through TikTok and I'm seeing certain videos of young teenagers where they are posting that they are just completed a house they were building. 17 years old teenagers. And then you go through the comment section and then you see people saying, God, why? God, when? You understand? What you see is a lot of people questioning God. Young people too. And nobody is really curious how this teenager was able to pull off something like this, building a house like that. And if you ever find a comment like this in the comment section, which is going to be rare, you see people attacking that person. Maybe you find a comment saying, people are not even asking this person how he got his money. Check the under of that comment section. People are saying, what concerns you? Were you there when he was suffering? See, there are so many things that happen in broad daylight. We don't question it. It is only when it gets to the point where it gets to Insta blog, we say, oh, a gospel artist has done this to this, that everybody begins to
raise dust.
Everybody begins to say something. But we see posts like this, we like, we pass, we congratulate and move on. We don't ask questions. And to be honest, some of these teenagers don't even know what they are doing. Even their family don't even ask them questions. Some people, some of you in your family, some of your siblings have left for the city. And where they are in the city right now, you don't even know what they are doing for a living. Your mother does not care. Your father does not care. To be honest, there are so many things that we all can do collectively to help the society, but we don't.
We don't, trust me.
And some of these issues start from the family, because the family makes up society. In some families, you see very lazy people.
They'll be under their father's roof.
Under their father's roof. No work experience, no skill they are learning. Do you understand? I feel like such people should be handed over to the police. Yes, if you discover that your child does not have a skill, did not go to school, is not doing anything, they should just be handed over to the police.
Very true.
But while I'm saying this too, doesn't mean that there are people who some people have skills, they have jobs, and they have something really doing for their life. But at the end of the day, they still fall victim to doing money ritual. Do you understand me? They still fall victim. So this is where setting unrealistic goals comes in.
Very true.
There are a lot of people who go to the studio, just release one track, and they expect to be like Frank Edward, Nathaniel Bassey overnight. And the thing with successful people is that most of them are only sharing successful stories. They are not sharing the stories of their struggles because they feel like, oh, it's in their past now. And they don't know that they are doing society harm by keeping these stories to themselves.
Very true.
Some of them, if their friend should lick their throwback, they are going to start quarreling with their friend. They are angry that why did you release it? And you don't see, looking at the way society is going now, I feel that people, that's why I like Obi Kubana. Sometimes I read his post, he talks about so many things. That people should understand that life is a journey.
Of course.
I like Obi Kubana. Sometimes he shares his throwbacks. He talks about how he started in life. I cannot entirely tell every single thing he did. People will have controversies, I'm very sure. But I can tell you that when this man speaks, he always encourages hard work.
Very true.
Nobody jumps from 0 to 100. Nobody just wakes up to become an expert in something that they are new at. It takes time to achieve greatness in life.
It takes a lot of time.
For example, what I'm doing, I did not even start it this way. Those of you who used to watch me back then, you can tell how it all started.
I saw your throwback videos.
So, and right now, there are people who feel that maybe I'm not even supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somewhere way above here. See, these are the kinds of people who put pressure. But do you understand me?
You need to appreciate your little
You need to appreciate, like our brother Mr. J said, gratitude is very
important.
strongly recommended. Gratitude is recommended,
appreciate
honestly.
Every little.
You have to appreciate every little thing.
And
parents should be more responsible to their children. How can you have a daughter? You're not caring for your daughter doesn't have a job, but yet she's having so many wigs, so many shiny clothes, so many expensive phones. It does not make sense. The moment we begin to keep quiet to things like this, the moment nuisance will thrive in our society.
Of course.
That's the truth.
You question
because
them.
If a girl is really contented, I don't think a guy wants to use money to
lure her
into anything.
That's
so
true.
on that thing, making sure that your children are safe from bad friends.
Very important.
Bad friends is very, very important.
Yeah.
So these are just some of those things. I don't really know that guy, the gospel artist, so we cannot really look at the entire circumstances that led him into doing something like that.
Yeah.
But from what is obvious, looking at the Nigerian society, frustration, lack of contentment, the urge to make quick money. We feel that these three things could be what led him to have made that decision.
Even peer pressure.
Peer pressure too, exactly.
Peer pressure. Using social media to
as a yardstick to
judge
to measure your success.
Yeah, social media. A lot of that happens a lot. I'll just advise in few words to young lads like myself. That patience. You are doing well. You are doing very well.
Some of you are doing well, but you don't know.
You
don't see it that way.
And if God should open our eyes to see how our future, the kind of future He has prepared for us, we'll shut our ears and our minds, to thoughts of even doing rituals or even soiling our hands to negative things.
You never settle for that less. If you can see just 5 years ahead of your life.
Exactly. If God should open your eyes to see certain things, how He has planned your life, how He has structured your life. The Bible says that the thoughts I have for you are thoughts of good and not of evil, to lead you to unexpected. He said, beloved, I wish above all things that you should prosper. Above all things, not even just prospering, but being in good health, even as thy soul prospereth. So you're doing well. Just keep thriving, keep doing what you're doing. Be consistent about it. Keep doing what you're doing. Someday you will see that God will just shine His light upon the works of your hand, and you will be wondering, is this really me? All of us have our stories to tell.
Exactly.
We're coming from somewhere. There was a time in our lives where 200 naira was a problem. There was a time in my life that I used to trek to church. My distance from my church was more than 2 kilometers. I would trek. And the funny thing is that everybody in my area have borrowed all the provision stores. I've collected on credit from them. Yes, it was that bad. If you come to my house without calling me, I will not open the door because I'm owing rent. So I don't know when landlord will come or caretaker. I was living like a thief. But the way God turned everything around for my own good is what amazes me. And that was because I held on to Him. So
even taking life serious by even saying this thing. How old were you when you were experiencing something like that?
I was a young man, exactly.
You're trying to become an adult and you are new at it.
Yes.
A lot of us in our first years of paying our rent, we experience things like that.
Of course.
We are able to manage our finance in a way that we are able to save enough for our rent. It's not as if God did not even provide. Do you understand? It's not as if it was so entirely bad for us. Some of us, let's be very truthful, some of the things we blame God for, it is our own fault.
Yes, it's our fault. It's our fault.
Before you decide you want to stay on your own, you should have something you are doing, right? That's if you are sensible.
Yeah.
Except you are not sensible, you just take risks, uncalculated risks. Now that thing you are doing, you should be able to stay in a place where you can afford. Right?
Very true.
So if you plan very well, which a lot of young people make this mistake, which is normal, because at that point, food is priority, clothes is priority. Some of us may not even be eating so we are even buying clothes, but somehow we don't just know how to put life together in a way that we are able to pay our rent as at when due. So when it gets to a point where the rent expires, we don't have money. So we begin to struggle. But I can tell that this struggle is just a natural process and part of life. It has nothing to do with God. I mean, for example, you lose your job right now and life just gets so bad for it. Even in your business, you are not making as much as you used to.
Yeah.
Then you can now tell yourself that during this period, God saw me through.
Yeah.
Because even with all you knew, even with all your capacity and everything, you experienced a bad time in your life. Do you understand me? Then it will make more sense that God saw you through in this moment. But if you look at the fact that, you're a young person, you are just starting out, you can't expect life to just magically make sense, right? So it's just a natural process. That is why I want you to understand. It's a natural thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with God. If you're with your parents, you wouldn't really worry about rent. And even if you worry about it, you would worry with other people, not just you alone. So the moment you transition to living by yourself, sometimes most of us are not smart enough to learn how to live. But right now, I'm sure that you are very careful with your spending.
Extremely careful.
You know how to say no to somebody without feeling bad.
Of course.
You've gotten to that point. But when you were younger, you probably did not know how to say no to somebody without feeling bad.
True. Very true. Very, very
So there
true.
are some things we do by ourselves. You understand? That causes us to be in situations where we feel like maybe God doesn't love us. Young man, like you said, do not beat yourself. Some of you are not doing so bad.
Exactly.
As long as you are doing something that you are able to afford food for yourself daily, your shelter is taken care of, you put on clothes that are okay, that doesn't make you look like a mad person actually, then you are good to go.
Just one very last word. There's no glory without a story. There's no glory without a story. It is even the story that makes your glory more beautiful.
Yeah.
It is the story behind. There's no successful man that doesn't have a story to tell. It is that story that makes your glory more beautiful.
Brothers and sisters, take life easy. Like I said, and I would never want you guys to forget what I said earlier. As long as your tummy is filled up, it doesn't make any sense if you are rich or poor. No matter how many houses you have, you can only stay in one room at a time. No matter how many cars, you can only drive one at a time. Sometimes I see people buying cars of over $1 million. To me, it's pointless. Because most of the times, even adulthood we are busy. We are so busy that sometimes, even in our own house, we don't stay there. We are mostly in hotels. We are mostly traveling. So what is now the point? And some people will still be in a situation like that and still be looking for more money. That's why the Bible said it will be very easy for a donkey to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man. Because you see these riches, it comes with so much greed. And spirit of greed is thriving very well in Nigeria.
So much.
And that is why we continue to charge religious leaders. They have a very significant role to play. They are the moral builders of this society. So they are supposed to help. Parents too, checkmate your children. Let them teach them the right way. Some of you parents, you are not doing your job as expected. And I appreciate Mr. J. I mean, the platform is here. You coming out from time to time. We share stories like this. We are hoping that this video gets to as many people as possible and people can actually see the sense in what we are saying. In everything we've discussed, do not pressure yourself. Okay? It takes time to achieve greatness. He has shared some stories with you. He talked about his experience with some people who ended their life without knowing because they were fueled by greed. They wanted to make money the fastest way possible. Some of you really don't have to live your life that way. Enjoy what God has provided.
And live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Be grateful.
Yeah,
That gratitude
grateful.
part is very important. Too. Sometimes me, I'll enter my car, I'll just say, God,
Be grateful.
thank you.
Yeah.
The guys, I will just enter my house like this. I'll
Just
say,
look
God,
around.
thank
you.
I'll
Thank
open
you.
cupboard. I'll see one carton of Indomie.
God,
I
thank
on gas
you.
like this. Gas
It's
go
on.
on. I open fridge water.
Whatever you want to afford, whatever, even if it's going out to buy a bottle of drink, Chivita or Hollandia, you are grateful that as this urge came, I can afford it. I'm thankful to God.
See, there was a time in my life that you will get phone like this, but you know what? You have absolutely no data.
Or airtime.
So you have to be begging people.
Yes.
Or you have to wait for midnight subscription.
Yes.
But right now, life is not that
Like
way.
that
At least
again,
for some of you. Maybe some of you are in that situation, but we are telling this story for let you know that some of us that are where we are today, we went through all those things too.
And we came out.
Did you do any rituals to get to this point?
Bro. I did not.
So I feel like more public figures, you guys need to come out to start sharing your stories.
I want to appreciate you, Lucky Udu Studio. You are doing a fantastic and great job. Extremely great job. You know, it's difficult most times to see platforms that deliver such messages, especially to the young lads today. It's extremely difficult. I have gone through a lot of platforms. We're in a society where platform even exalts these things, you know, not minding to tell the adverse effects of these things. Thank you so much. Ever since I got to meet you as a person and follow through your platform, you're doing a great job, even bringing hopes to people that have lost hope.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job. It's a whole lot of work that you're putting in that people are not saying. God will keep on blessing you.
Amen.
God will keep on honoring the works of your hand at all time. When you call for one person to help you, multiple people will stand up to help you.
Amen.
Thank you for what you're doing for
Thank
people.
you. It's my pleasure. I feel that this job was something that God gave to me.
Yeah.
Maybe God went through the hearts of so many people, but felt I want to put it in the heart of this young man.
Yeah.
And God did not even tell me it's going to be easy. Tribulations will come. I'm sure a lot of you are aware what is going on social media too. You know, where people come on my show and some people will be bullying my guests, asking them, why did you even come to this guy's show?
Sure.
You understand? But not too many people have seen the primary reason for this platform. We give hope to the hopeless. We tell stories that matter, stories that will help young people to learn valuable lessons that they probably would never have learned anywhere else. You know, we tell stories that will make people to make better decisions. I mean, somebody has gone through that route,
of course,
and this is the consequences. The story has been shared. You don't necessarily have to go through that route anymore. Right now, we have some stories of Yahoo boys, that a guy that went into Yahoo, and how the whole thing ran his life down to zero. This was a guy that was celebrated everywhere. He bought lands, bought digs. Everybody thought he was
living the life.
He was living the life.
Yeah.
So he's going to be coming to share his story. And the worst thing is, if this story is shared, you still see people that will not pay attention to the lesson, but instead be saying, if this guy posts you, one thing. So I feel that these are just tribulations.
Yeah, of course.
And there was nobody that did not face things like this. Nobody that did not face mockery.
Of course.
Jesus faced mockery. Look at all the people in the Bible that God gave divine projects to. They all faced mockery.
No, if you're not facing mockery, if you're not facing backlashes, that means you are not doing it right. Whatever that you're doing right, you must have people that will. Two-Face once said something that if nobody talks about you, then you're nobody. So that's just the basic.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the basic.
And this to tell you that the society is decayed enough. People only laugh at you because what are you trying to do? This is not how it's supposed to be. You are trying to do something new. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it is myopic people that would always come. But one thing is that God is bigger than every one of them.
Really big.
As long as God has given us the vision and He's also giving us all that we need. I look at my staffs. They are beautiful, smart people. And the fact that I wake up every morning, I see them, I know that God has really given me the people I need to take this vision far. Yeah. When I started, it was just me alone. So I'm very, very positive. I'm optimistic that even though this is how people see me at the moment, it will not always be this way.
Of course.
And I really appreciate all the people who are coming out to tell their stories too, because it is because of people like you that we are able to create more impact
And awareness also.
Yes, and awareness. So, Mr. J, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's just unfortunate that there was so much we could talk about, but we're having some technical issues with our camera. But anyways, I want you guys to know that from time to time, you'll be seeing these faces. Yes, you will. We'll be coming out to talk about so many things. See, Jay, I want you to see this platform as a platform for evangelism.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I understand that people who follow me are from different religions. Not that we are trying to push our religion on them. You have to respect,
of course, their
religions. But what we are pushing is love. Do you understand me? Which Jesus represents. And I'm sure some of you, love is not a problem to you. It will make you panic. I mean, if you are trying to preach the gospel of Christ, I have to... It will make you panic, but love is not so. So we from time to time, we'll be coming to push morals.
Yes, morals.
Teaching people what true love is. A lot of young people don't know what true love is. So we'll be looking at case studies. Sometimes I go through TikTok, and you'll be seeing people, they'll say, they face challenge, they do challenge. Why these comments are funny? Yes, I see some people coming out to share their story of what they are going through. And you see people in the comment section. So I feel that, we need to share stories that really teach people. Yeah, Sunday school is no longer the way it used to be. As a matter of fact, I'm sure people don't attend like they used to anymore.
Those good for Sunday service.
So maybe now, social media is the new church. I mean, platforms like this could be the new church to truly reach out to people.
Because everybody has access to it.
Yes.
At all time.
That's
all right.
Mr. J,
thank you so much.
What we'll be talking about next time? That video we did last time, especially on YouTube, I went through the comment. People really enjoyed listening, talking about, what we talked about. So I'm thinking, what other things? Please indicate in the comment section if there's a topic you'd like us to talk about. Even though we do not have so much knowledge about it, we could prepare for it very well, okay? And we could come. You could see these faces from time to time, maybe every week if possible. We could come around to talk about different things. You want us to talk about relationship, marriage, divorce, career, so many things. There's so many things to talk about. So let us know in the comment section what you like us to talk about. For those who have watched this video to the end. Okay, you've heard all the advice from Mr. J. I hope you listen to them, and I hope it goes far into your heart to influence your habits, your choices, and I really hope that you end well. That's my prayer for you. Thank you so much for watching this very episode.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And bye. Thank you. Bye.